Sean Diddy Combs walked into the courtroom yesterday wearing a sweater over a white-collared shirt and gray slacks. He hugged his attorneys when he got in.
Has made Sean Combs a little bit nervous.
To me on that when you said, yeah, he looked like the gay homie. I didn't know what you were talking about. If you
No, I wouldn't go to... Do you think this might be too early?
Could be a life sentence. The sex trafficking is 15 years minimum, and the transportation for prostitution purposes is 10 years minimum. So various charges against them. The three main ones are racketeering, basically extortion, sex trafficking, and the transportation of people across state lines.
Diddy walked into that courtroom cool as can be playing it, like he had everything under control, sharp suit, dark tones, not a hair out of place, like he was untouchable. But as soon as that new music by 50 Cent began blasting over the speakers, everything changed. The whole room stopped. You could sense the energy shift, the information in that clip dynamite. And just like that, Diddy's composure had gone, his expression fell, his demeanor cracked. This man, who always moves like a boss, was suddenly rattled in front of everyone. This wasn't just a court appearance.
statement is something from, you can tell it was written by a lawyer. Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He's like,
it became a full-fledged drama. Jaws were dropping, people were whispering, and the spotlight was hot burning. It was crazy to see someone who's always been the puppeteer himself now seeming to be losing grip on the strings, from petty digs online to a packed courtroom full of tension. This drama popped quick. When Diddy first entered, he had that Fox calm thing going, smooth walking, flexing like the man. But if you look closely enough, you could see it, the tense shoulders, the faux cool. And when those eyes tracked him, he felt that quiet heat kindling in the room. Everyone in that courtroom felt that something was about to fall. The tension wasn't just thick, it was choking.
Various charges against him. The three main ones are racketeering, basically extortion, sex trafficking, and the transportation of people across state lines.
People were whispering behind their hands, eyes glued to their phones, waiting for the bomb to detonate. Did he attempt to play it cool, giving polite nods to his lawyers, sitting up straight like none of the mayhem touched him? But that facade, it slipped quick. Everything turned the second that new audio came out straight from 50 Cent's new Netflix doc, the one already causing crazy drama before it even premieres. And when that recording played, you could hear a pin drop, not a cough, not a shuffle, nothing, just Diddy's voice, loud and clear, joking around in a slick, suggestive tone. He was talking about shopping with another man, saying he'd pay the bill, saying they needed to kick it. On the surface might seem like nothing, but with all the heat he's under right now, those words hit way different.
Will you go out to the prison and will you visit him just for funsies? I don't know. Look, because you think that right now he can feel like I'm his enemy. What? Yeah, why would you feel that way? I mean, I'm not his enemy. The federal government.
Suddenly, it wasn't casual conversation. It felt intimate. It felt wrong. And people in that room were glancing around like, did he really say that? This wasn't any ordinary audio drop. The courtroom was getting the version of Diddy 50 Cent had been taunting for years. As that clip played, responses were immediate. A few gasped loudly, some glanced around bewildered, and others just sat there rigid, obviously taken aback by what they were hearing. In the back row, reporters went into overdrive, typing furiously. This was the moment that would saturate every headline come nightfall. Even Diddy's own lawyers seemed shaken, like that clip wasn't meant to materialize in court.
but I don't have that thing where we didn't have no thing. I wasn't sending nothing at him, big. If it was on the street side like that, we would be actively doing things to each other.
The air shifted, rapid silence became thick, and suddenly all eyes were on Diddy. Initially, he remained frozen, stone-faced, no expression. But as the audio continued and the judge signaled to allow even more of it, on the crack revealed his jaw, clenched, his fists gripping the table as if he was on the verge of losing it. And then he lost it, stood up out of nowhere, shouting, frustrated everywhere. The words didn't even fully cohere, just pure rage, unfiltered.
Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
let me read it, Fifth.
Diddy was furious, gesturing across the room, insisting on the audio being dismissed, yelling about how it had been manipulated, chopped up, and used only to make him look bad. He swore 50 Cent tampered with the clip to humiliate him intentionally. The judge had to bang that gavel, demanding order, as Diddy's lawyers scrambled to calm him down. But the harm was done. His cool was out the window, and everyone knew it. Meanwhile, 50 Cent, he's not sitting on the sidelines.
and how much detail he could go into about his testimony. And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them.
He's driving the wheel, guiding this entire thing directly into the public consciousness. His Netflix documentary did not coincidentally release It was staged to the minute. That now infamous audio wasn't some arbitrary creative decision. It was a deliberate hit. 50 knew what he was doing. He released that footage at the exact moment Diddy's legal issues began to come to a boil, and believed this wasn't bad timing for Diddy. It was a power move, a brazen action in a larger game. As the producer and the voice of the entire series, 50 Cent ensured that documentary wasn't a highlight reel of Diddy's achievements. It was a deliberate, slow burn takedown. He didn't merely address Diddy's legacy. He stripped it back layer by layer. The tales people only spoke of in hushed tones, he brought them out into the open, loud and clear.
I don't know. I hope things are all right for him internally.
Speaking on?
I mean, at the crib. Because in the statement they mentioned this.
Oh, you talking about jail?
But the actual gut shot, that private audio from a relaxed conversation that was slipped right into Diddy's remarks in that clip, didn't only sound strange, they made people squirm in their seats in a courtroom already brimming with tension. Those words set the place ablaze, and that was precisely what 50 had planned. Now, say what you will about 50 Cent.
Could be a life sentence. The sex trafficking is 15 years minimum, and the transportation for prostitution purposes is 10 years minimum. So
he's known for trolling, sure. He's a marketing beast, no doubt. And when it comes to settling beef, he doesn't stop till he buries it. But this doc wasn't just about petty shots. There's a deeper play here. The feud's been going on for years. But this one felt personal and strategic. For years, 50 Cent's been dropping slick little jabs, cryptic posts, inside jokes, and interview digs about Diddy that always kept the rumors alive. But when the latest wave of legal trouble hit, Diddy, 50 didn't just clown around with memes or sidey captions. He went full throttle. He saw his shot and took it, making sure the world didn't just hear whispers. They got the full, unfiltered version of a Diddy. Most folks never get to see. This wasn't just trolling. It was a calculated strike. Call it a personal vendetta if you want, and yeah, maybe some of it is, but there's something bigger going on. 50 looks like he's trying to rip the lid off a part of the industry that, in his eyes, has been protected for way too long. That documentary, it's more than shade. It's a weapon and a mirror, and love him or hate him, it's doing damage. The fact that the judge even allowed that audio into evidence, that says it all. It hit hard, a full-on bombshell that left the courtroom in shock. This wasn't just small talk, it was raw and straight up, revealing the kind of stuff people had only whispered about behind closed doors. As that audio rolled through the courtroom, it became clear Diddy's words weren't just awkward, they were incriminating. One of the wildest moments when he casually said, "Yo, why don't we go shopping? I'll pay for it." Said like it was nothing, but the way it came out, so bold, so smooth, like there were no lines he was afraid to cross, made everybody freeze up. It wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. No hesitation, no filter, like pushing boundaries was normal for him. It didn't feel like a joke, it felt like something deeper. And way off, the room dropped into dead silence. No coughs, no whispers, just people trying to wrap their heads around what they had just heard. Every face in there showed the same thing: shock, confusion, and disbelief. It wasn't just that one wild comment, the whole conversation showed someone crossing lines that most wouldn't even think about. It painted Diddy as a man who blurred professional and personal boundaries in ways that had people straight up uncomfortable. First, he dropped a casual "let's kick it," then followed it up with something way out of pocket, talking about playing with your booty in Miami. That one had jaws on the floor. These weren't just awkward jokes, they matched up a little too well with whispers that have been following Diddy for years. Whether he meant it as a joke or not doesn't even matter. The fact he said all this on a recorded call, that's what changed the game. The courtroom was buzzing, people were looking around, shook. It was clear this wasn't about to blow over. That audio didn't just raise eyebrows, it added real weight to the more serious claims made against him. For years, folks have been hinting at shady behavior, rumors floating around about what goes on behind closed doors. But now this gave those rumors legs. It was something real, something people could point to. And it didn't stop at that one convo, it tied right into the bigger accusations around him: manipulation, toxic control, and power moves in the industry. The way he spoke like boundaries didn't exist, that matched exactly what people had been saying all along. This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was out there, loud and clear for the world to hear. And once that audio hit the courtroom, keeping up appearances got real tough for Diddy. The whole vibe shifted. It wasn't just a jaw-dropping moment. It flipped the case on its head. Shock waves hit the room like a tidal wave, and Diddy's grip on the narrative started slipping fast. Before that clip played, a lot of the case was riding on rumors and accusations, word-of-mouth stuff. But once the jury heard Diddy's own voice making those off-key comments, it changed everything. No more he said, she said. This was real, raw proof that backed up the prosecution's claims. And just like that, the prosecutors had an unexpected edge. They weren't just pointing fingers anymore. They were showing receipts. That audio helped build a full picture of Diddy's behavior, one that made it way harder for his legal team to spin or downplay. Suddenly, it wasn't just about questionable choices, it was about a pattern. And the courtroom felt it heavy. That audio wasn't just about one off-the-wall comment. It exposed a bigger picture of toxic behavior and control that had been bubbling beneath the surface for years. The moment it played, the prosecution had exactly what they needed to prove this wasn't just some personal drama. It was part of a much deeper, more disturbing pattern that couldn't be ignored any longer. This shifted the whole vibe. It wasn't just about the allegations on paper. It became about what the audio really said about who Diddy is when the cameras aren't rolling, and the legal fallout, immediate and messy. Diddy's credibility took a heavy blow.